Hi everyone and welcome to the Poke Plateau. Today we're going to take a look at the Target exclusive Jazzware Select 6-inch articulated Samurott figure. Samurott is the last figure to be released in Series 4, which began with Typhlosion, went to Dragapult, and now ends with Samurott. Series 5 has since been announced with Mewtwo, Tyranitar, and Suicune. I want to talk about Suicune a little bit because Samurott gives us a little preview of what to expect. Samurott is the first 4-legged Pokemon to be released for this line, so it gives us a bit of a preview of what to expect when Suicune eventually does release. We're going to be taking a look at this figure's molding, its paint application, its articulation, and the accessories that come with it. So without any further ado, let's get started. So to start off, this is probably the 10th time I've recorded this. Camera issues, recording issues are issues. That being said, let's get into the figure. So the molding is perfect. It's a samurai. It's a very good figure. Its molding's perfect. It looks like a samurai. There's nothing to really write home about. It is weird placement of the peg to be like in the very middle, but then again, Zapdos is in his tail, and it's very odd looking when it's not in its stand, so I kind of get it. The best you can get with the peg being on the stomach there is you can kind of make it look like it's flying. Nothing to really write home about the molding. It's very generic. It's very nice. I do want to point out that Samurott is only the second figure that can really stand on its own. Charizard is the other one. Every other Pokemon figure that has released in this line besides Charizard has been unable to stand on its own. Lucario, Greninja, the legendary birds, Rayquaza, who doesn't have feet, none of them. It's only Charizard and Samurott. As of right now, we'll see with Series 5 when it eventually comes out. As for its articulation, it's fairly limited. The front flippers, arms, there's no real bending of the hands. They're basically just on ball joints, and they can twirl, and that's really it. The elbows, I'm trying to do it anatomy. The elbows bend and they can turn, and that's really it. That's the most articulation you're going to get out of the front flippers. Now the back flippers are much more articulated in terms of what they're able to do up and down. They can go everywhere. So it's weird that, you can't do it. You're going to force it and break the toy. But it's interesting that the back flippers and the front flippers do not have the same type of articulation. The one glaring point about the articulation is that I don't like the fact that the head can only go up and down at this hinge. I wish there was a way that they had like a ball joint here where it can go up and down more. I kind of get that like his beard gets in the way a little bit, but it feels very Batman 1989 in that he can't move his head a certain way, so it's just kind of back and forth, and that's really all you can do with him. You can go left and right, but then again his beard gets in the way. It's very limited range of motion, so really just the back legs. The tail does go up and down, but it doesn't really turn. You also get this weird I get this hip joint right here going up and down. You can kind of twirl it. The hip joint is kind of important though, because when you want to use the accessories that come with it, you kind of have to position it as like a tripod, and you have to use that hip joint to make sure that it's stable. With the paint application, I don't know why I thought that Samurott was a lighter shade of blue. I thought that the navy blue was the shiny variant of Samurott, but then I looked at older images, and sure enough, I was wrong. Samurott very much is a deep navy color, and very correctly so applied. There's just not really much to discuss with the paint application. It's fine. It's perfect. There's nothing wrong with it. It does exactly what it's intended to. As for the accessories, all of the articulated figures come with this stand. It's really great for Lucario, Greninja, the birds, Rayquaza, and Charizard, because it makes them look like they're flying in essence, which a majority of the line has been. Legendary birds are flying types, Rayquaza is a flying type, Charizard's a flying type. So the only two outliers there have been Lucario, Greninja, and Typhlosion. Dragapult isn't a flying type, but it's a ghost type, so he kind of levitates. So I get it. But Samurott gets boned with this. This is such a small peg, and all of the time, Samurott's footpath is larger than the peg stand. So if you put him on the peg stand, his flippers go off. You don't actually need the peg, you don't need the stand at all, but it's just that they've released it with every other thing. I liked it when I was playing around with it. It makes it look like he's kind of flying if it wants to stay up there. That's the best thing I could do with it, is make it look like he's kind of flying. It's just so small, and I mentioned Suicune earlier because Suicune has an identical length peg, and it has a similar placement of the hole. There's really no point to it. Suicune should be able to stand on its own, but we'll come to that when Suicune does release. Now, the best part of this figure, in my opinion, is the accessories. These are the razor shell accessories that come with the figure. Now, they do go into the front flippers. This is how they come, so it's not like they're part of like a different little section of the box. So they do come as part on his front flippers. They pop out very easily. I had these falling around everywhere when I was playing around with it. And that cool part is that you can just put it into his front flipper, so it's a little articulated razor shell action. Like I said, if you want to do a stance like this, you are going to have to use that hip joint and make him into a sort of tripod. It does take some finessing, but it does get the job done. Now, the best accessory is the larger razor shell accessory. This thing is huge, and God, I'm so close to the microphone. I'm sorry, I kept leaning forward. It is the best accessory. I have been wanting this line to add in attack accessories. They've only done it with Greninja with his water shuriken, and I'm trying to get him to stand up, but the back leg joints are just so open, and like they're too articulated compared to everything else, that it's very hard to get him to stand correctly with the larger razor shell, because he's like leaning over. So you have to, yeah, see, he's still, I mean, you could probably get it with the stand, but it's very weird that there's more articulation in the back legs than the front. The front legs are much more stable, and the back legs don't want to. Let's see if we can. Of course he's going to stand up when I do that because he's got the stand. But it's a very good entry into the line. It's an odd choice. I would have I'm a big Fraligator stans, and I would have liked Fraligator, especially with the Typhlosion coming out, but I get it. They have to do more different Pokemon from each generation, so I totally get it. All in all, it's a very good entry into the line. It's perfect for if you're a big Samurott fan and been wanting a different starter besides the Johto or Kanto versions of the starters. I am really wanting a Blastoise in the line, but it hasn't happened yet. There's so many other Pokemon that they could do in this line that they're just haven't tapped in the full potential of it. I still think that Rayquaza was like a weird choice considering it's an articulated line and Rayquaza is just a snake, but I'm not in charge of making the toys. All in all, these toys will run you about $20. I've seen them go for $21.99. This one goes for $19.99 right now. There's a link in the description. But this one is, like I said earlier, exclusive to Target. All the other figures have since released at GameStop, Walmart, other retailers, but the only place that Samurott will be found is at Target. as well as Series 5, as I said, featuring Mewtwo, Tyranitar, and Suicune. Now, if you like that video, please like, share, and subscribe to stay up to date with our latest videos and whenever we go live on Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hope you guys had fun. We'll see you next time. Take care.